yourself.
Hey, everybody. It's another episode of Go Flix Yourself. My name is Ben Conowitz, and with me, as always, is the Initech to my Acme Corporation, Bradford Oman.
Hey, that's me.
Okay. And the Wayland Corporation to my Acme Corporation, Nate Laux.
No idea what this was in reference to.
Isn't it Wayland Yutani?
Industries. Instead of corporation, maybe?
For what?
Alien, Nate.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah, but it's Wayland Yutani, isn't it?
Well, I mean, that's the full name, but I think a lot of times it's Wayland.
Why are we going
okay.
back to this film?
You
made me watch it. I did my job.
Because
he did fictional corporations.
Yeah, and Acme is like the one that I love.
Yeah.
And Initech is from
It's Looney Tunes.
Office Space.
Office Space, which is also a bad company.
Well, the company's not bad. The people at it are bad.
That's what makes a bad company.
We don't know if the company's bad or not. Could be a great company.
They give all it's a non-for-profit. They're building wells across the world,
Helping homeless people.
and it's just they got shit employees.
Yeah.
Hey, Peter, man, check out Channel 9. It's that chick that looks like Ann. So, fresh from my day job of doing the drywall at the new McDonald's, this is Go Flix Yourself, where we talk about the latest movies we've seen, talk about some trailers, play a game if somebody wrote one.
Huh?
Maybe.
Oh, maybe it's a
Oh.
game. And every episode we start with my least favorite part. It's always something stupid, but today is a great day.
Don't call Nate's takes on movies stupid.
No.
You're still mad, by the way, about our past podcast, our 10 to 1 podcast.
For some reason,
that
Brad
I
thinks
had
that
better
Nate had hot takes on
They were-
Night at the Roxbury
I
being
didn't
a
say
bad movie.
hot takes. I just said that
Brad's
they were
like,
bad.
Night at the Roxbury is a freaking fantastic film. And I'm like, it's not a good film.
I was just surprised that Brad did two things. He did a Bill Cosby impression out of
It's what I was
nowhere.
Hold on. To be clear, it was a voice to indicate that Ben was stupid, and it happened to sound a bit like Bill
It
Cosby.
sounded exactly like you were
It
doing
was
Bill
a Bill
Cosby.
We'll let the audience be the judge.
You've been workshopping that.
Because if I'm over here going like, oh, I said something stupid, and you're like, no, Ben, I'm Ben. I said something stupid. Like, what are you doing?
I was doing my Ben is stupid voice.
Jello pudding bops Ben stupid.
Yeah, there you go.
But this is my favorite part of the podcast now because I have taken over the sponsor.
What?
I went ahead.
He's digging in a blanket. I'm
I
really
know.
worried about
Like
what
he's gonna
I
get
went
into his
ahead.
like fuzzy
I went ahead.
pocket.
you're giving us hairy fruits. Oh, he brought a Ziploc bag.
You got
Hey,
Ziploc
this is not
bags.
fair. You hate it when he brings Ziploc
I had
bags.
to do it this
You
way
got
though.
Ziploc bags.
Because all the individual snack
These are rocks.
bags that
These
I brought
These
rocks,
are rocks.
that you're gonna chip your teeth in. See, motherfucker!
You like that?
They're vaguely sticky.
Go ahead. Go ahead and put those in your mouth.
By the way,
It's a Ziploc bag full of 2 snacks each because it was hard to find.
oh, I don't like the texture.
Just eat it.
Oh, they're gushers.
They are. What kind of gushers?
Are they grape
They're
gushers?
grape gushers.
Whoa, where'd you get them?
Fucking Amazon on Canada.
For like $50?
They were $15 for a variety pack. This box right here in front of me.
nice.
6 pouches.
So you plucked the grape ones
I
out
did.
of
It's a variety pack, and
Wait
all
a
the
minute.
rest of them are right here.
Hold
And
on,
my other-
this box is empty. Did you eat all the rest of the gushers?
There's only 6 packages in there. So out
So
of
you did
all of
eat
them, I know I had to empty
oh
them
my
all.
god.
I had to empty them all, and there was only like 6 gushers in each pack.
Oh wow.
And there was only 1 grape in each pack.
So did we
So
get more
I
gushers?
gave you 2, and you got 2, and then I ate 2.
I see some orange ones in there though. Can
Oh
I-
yeah, there's these are for me.
Oh.
These are my gushers.
Oh, okay.
So thank you, Canadian gushers, for bringing back grape. What do you think?
No, I mean I've always loved gushers, and so yeah, those were delicious.
I like gushers.
Yeah, there you go.
There's
Thank you to the Gusher family.
Thank you.
actually right now too.
Thanks, Paul Gusher.
Gushers also they just re-released. They have a pack that has both watermelon and sour apple in them, and I love the watermelon gushers. So those are very good.
What do you like most about gushing?
The way it goozes in your mouth. Don't you like when like a fruit snack just goozes into your mouth?
I just love it when it pops off in my mouth and I get a bunch of warm liquid.
Yeah, it's just like a nice burst of goop.
Yeah, I like a good goo shoot in my throat.
Nate, what's your favorite Gushers memory?
It's a topic for a different time. I know what Brad's
Welcome
is.
to Go Flix Yourself. After dark.
Go Fix Yourself After Dark, starring Brad Oman.
Ooh, Gushers. That's funny. So yeah, Gushers. Those are
But
delicious.
really bad. What is your favorite?
What's your favorite Gusher memory, Brad?
I funnily enough, I had a sponsor that was one of the sponsors you got from Canada when you went on your trip.
Really?
But now I guess I'll save it for the next
All right.
episode.
Well, we did it.
Well, he got milk before he came down though. So
I did, yeah. So and now I'm just gonna have to drink.
Is the milk still sitting over there?
No, I got it like
Yes.
today.
No, but his milk
No,
is
like-
over there.
Did you pour yourself a glass of milk? Yeah. Oh my God, it's still sitting there.
And he was gonna have a streak.
We recorded another podcast already.
It's not. It's still ice cold.
No, it
No,
can't be.
no.
It
Would
is.
you drink that? Hey, oh my gosh.
Oh,
It's still very cold. It really is.
I just don't like you in warm
Hey,
milk.
hey, Ben, try it. Try that milk.
Fuck no. There's literally not amount of money you can pay me to try that milk right now. Oh, dude.
It's just like coming down from his
It's
his
dripping down his chin like an Anchorman. Yeah.
Once it hits your lips, though,
It's so good.
I love milk.
Are you a
I
two-
love that famous line from Anchorman. I love milk.
Don't
Are you a 2%er?
No, I actually.
He's a whole guy.
No, I grew up on skim, so I typically get skim. Sometimes I'll get 1%, but I also still like 2% and whole milk. So like I won't discriminate.
I like all milk. As long as it's ice freaking cold.
You do like milk?
Yeah. I gotta be ice cold
I
milk.
can't do milk.
He had
gives
some,
me the crap.
He had some milk on our recent trip when we went to Chicago and got some cookies.
Well, of course I
Got
do.
himself a nice bottle of milk.
No, but if you're eating cookies,
Oh, yeah,
sure.
chocolate
But,
and milk go together, right? Like that's just what I
but
do.
doesn't milk give you the craps?
No,
No,
I'm
nope.
not lactose intolerant.
I've got a nice,
I am.
good, robust internal system that processes my dairy properly.
Seriously, you don't get the craps?
Nope.
No, you must be lactose intolerant.
I am.
Okay, so that explains why you don't like milk very
Why
much.
do you eat so much cheese then?
Yeah, for real,
I don't
cheese
eat
boy.
a ton of cheese.
You eat so much cheese.
I saw you eat
You're
a
eating cheese
block
right
of
now.
cheese.
You're eating cheese right now.
You're cutting pieces of cheese off a block with a knife.
Only when I get sad.
Oh boy,
well,
to unpack that
and,
one later.
And by the way, I don't ever,
Get sad.
ever cut pieces of cheese off of a block of cheese.
You
I
just eat
bite
it.
the block.
I bite it.
Yeah, it's like, has there been a large mouse here eating this cheese? Nope, that's Nate's teeth.
Do you like cheese with mold on it?
What?
Like blue cheese?
Yeah.
No.
I do love blue cheese.
I like blue cheese dressing, but I do not like blue cheese
Why?
as the
What's
cheese.
that? What's that about?
It's just more funky.
What's that a boot?
And honestly, I don't like the blue cheese that has chunks of blue cheese in it. I don't want chunky blue cheese.
Why?
I don't like that funky cheese.
Do you like Munster?
You mean Munster?
No, it's Munster.
It's
Do you
not
like, do you like Munster cheese?
Do you like the Munster?
Do you? Hey, Brad, do you like Gouda?
No, Gouda.
Do you like cheddar?
Cheddar.
Oh.
How about American?
I like American.
You like American?
I like
Do you
the
like
American.
Parmesan?
Parmesan.
Parmesan.
This has been Cheese Corner on Go Fix Yourself.
Hey, Brad, what's the last movie you watched? Brad?
Gosh, you know what? Let me fucking tell you. The last movie I saw was actually Blues Brothers 2000
Oh.
that I watched for our podcast, the 10 to 1 podcast, which is a Saturday Night Live podcast. And if you want to hear us talk a lot more about Blues Brothers 2000, you can go check out our most recent episode of that podcast. Hey, Russell over there.
What?
All we can hear is you fucking gobbling gushers and
Oh, so,
getting-
Actually,
now
by the way, we can't hear it. But he's mad that you're eating gushers in
Wow,
front of him and
yeah.
not sharing them.
Okay, now
I
I got-
guarantee you that's what it is. He's mad that you're eating.
Oh,
the
I'm sorry.
gushers.
You're not mad that he ate all the gushers?
You've been known to enjoy your own gushers without us.
Ain't that the truth? If anything, I prefer to enjoy gushers by myself.
those are good gushers, and now they're all gone.
Yeah. Wow. Great.
Yeah, we're.
Ben just ate a whole box of gushers, basically.
I feel sick to my stomach.
So the last movie I saw was Blues Brothers 2000, as I said. Before that was a movie that we were all assigned, and we'll circle back around to that one.
We'll circle the wagons.
Yep.
You know, it's a western.
I watched The Brothers Solomon.
Okay.
This is a movie that has been mentioned on and off again on the Smartless podcast, hosted by Will Arnett and Jason Bateman and Sean Hayes. And I've been curious about it because I never thought it looked particularly good, and I haven't heard lots of great things about it. But Jason Bateman's one of those people who thinks that it's pretty funny.
And it's written by Will Forte, somebody we love.
And it's also directed by Bob Odenkirk, somebody else who I also love and whose comedic opinions I respect greatly. So it's like, well, maybe it's not all that bad. And honestly, it isn't all that bad. It's like a slightly more. It's like there's something about Mary meets Dumb and Dumber. It's not quite as edgy as there's something about Mary. It's not quite as grounded as Dumb and Dumber, I guess you could say.
One of the things that's different about the Brothers Solomon than most other comedies, they typically there's a huge falling out,
right,
where two people hate each other and they have to like make amends. But in this film, the brothers just like Will Forte's character, right, just loves his brother, right?
Yeah.
And just he's done no wrong and he just wants to support him and they're just
Is that
very
Will
loving.
Arnett? Is that Will Arnett?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is still a falling out, but
it's not as
it's not quite as like there's not like a wedge driven between them in the same fashion. But there is a moment when like they do go their separate ways. But yeah, Malin Ackerman is in this movie. Kristen Wiig is in this movie.
Malin Ackerman is hot.
Yeah, Malin Ackerman was actually one of the first famous people that I met when I was I just moved to Los Angeles.
Yeah,
So
we
she
heard that
was
story.
very, very
19
sweet.
times.
Was she nice to you?
She was very nice.
She's a big listener, so say hi.
Hi, Malin. But yeah, this movie was pretty funny. Honestly, I enjoyed it for the most part.
It only has like a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. So.
I think that's way too low. It is, if you accept it for what it is, which is very Dumb and Dumber adjacent. Will Arnett and Will Forte are doing exactly what they should do as these characters. They're endlessly hopeful and clueless about like the kind of people they are, because they're not bad people, they're just goobers and they have no idea how to talk to women.
And Will Arnett just is so full of himself and just has but it's not like it's cocky, yes, but it's just silly cocky.
Yeah,
it doesn't. He's not mean spirited. I don't think about it.
It's very much like the same cockiness that like Rod has in Hot Rod.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was I had a good time watching this movie. I definitely didn't hate it. I don't think it's quite on the same level as what I would expect from Bob Odenkirk, because it does feel like a Farrelly Brothers movie. But I
thought for the longest time it was a Farrelly Brothers.
It feels like
movie,
it. It definitely feels like it. But I liked it for the most part. Didn't dislike it. I definitely think it's a lot better than 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
did you see anything else, buddy?
I watched St. Elmo's Fire for the first time.
Why?
So I recently watched.
Was it on USA?
No, funnily enough.
just caught it on USA on a Sunday afternoon?
No, so it's one of the there's only like 2 or 3 what you would call Brat Pack movies.
Mom! St. Elmo's Fire's on. Do you want to? No, it's about 20 minutes in. You still want to watch it? I can't pause it. Okay, that was me doing your mom.
Ew.
Go on.
But no, it's one of the few Brat Pack movies that I hadn't seen, and I just recently watched Andrew McCarthy's Brat documentary on Hoooo.
I haven't seen that yet.
Which I don't think I mentioned actually on this podcast, but
No.
I did watch that a little while back.
And Anthony Michael Hall did another interview where he was asked why he wasn't in that, and he just said, "I think that I'm always looking at moving forward." I didn't really.
That's the typical answer from people who just don't like talking about certain eras of their career. And for him, I think he's probably talked about it so much that he didn't really feel like there was much more he had to say about it. Whereas
He's not in the documentary.
No. Whereas a lot of the people that he talked to in it, they haven't necessarily dug into as much because they're not too keen to talk about it in regular interviews, So like hearing Emilio Estevez talk about it and Demi Moore and Rob Lowe and everything. Rob Lowe's never really been shy about it. He's fine, but like it's interesting. But
especially because like those 3 right there have pretty successful careers.
Yeah.
So they're not like, oh, I'm gonna go back to this well because I still am struggling and this is what I need to do
Is
to get my name
Emilio
out
still
there.
working?
He's directing, right?
He's been directing here and there. He was in that
But
Mighty
not a
Ducks.
ton.
He was in that Mighty Ducks series on Disney Plus, but then he
Which
didn't.
my boys loved, I'll say.
I dug it for the most part. He didn't come back for the second season because he didn't want to get vaccinated. So he's one of those guys.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so Emilio, no.
Yeah, you beat me to it. Fuck.
But
He directed that movie, The Library, right?
The Public.
The Public. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that any good?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not gonna watch it now.
I mean, it has a 66% on Rotten Tomatoes.
The Library.
The Public.
The Public Library.
But for coming from Andrew McCarthy, there's a part of me that feels like he doesn't really fully understand what like the job is of somebody who's like an entertainment or culture critic, because the way he approached it was like he took this article very personally and like it's not overly critical of him. it's just it seemed like a weird thing to like get
Up in arms about.
yeah to like really focus in on like being labeled the Brat Pack when like culture is always looking for a quippy way to describe trends, you know?
And I'm not sure that when I hear the words the Brat Pack that I think of it as a negative connotation.
So
I just look at it as that's just a group of people that did movies.
And the weird thing is if you go read the article, it's mostly about Emilio Estevez and Rob Lowe, and it becomes a little bit broader because some of the other actors who would be considered part of the Brat Pack are mentioned because all those movies were very popular at the time. But it's not like a huge scathing thing about Andrew McCarthy,
John Voight,
or
Sofia Vergara, those famous Brat Packers.
But so like it's still interesting to hear them talk about it. But anyway, I watched St. Elmo's Fire because of that, and it's solid. I think if I had seen it
give me a 10-second. What is the plot of it? I've never seen it. I don't even know what it is.
So very honestly, because I can say it with very broad strokes because it's really about just the specifics of what happened. But it follows 7 friends who have just graduated college, and they're all kind of living their life post college, and it's kind of a mess. Like one of them is in a dysfunctional marriage. The other one, they're not sure if they want to get married. The other one is in love with one of the other ones, and he hasn't like said anything about it yet.
So where's the fire come in?
So St. Elmo's Fire is the name of the bar that they frequent.
Because I genuinely thought this was a firefighter movie.
What? Did you really?
I genuinely
Wow. No, not a firefighter in sight, my friend.
Yeah, you got to remember, back in the day at St. Elmo's Fires when we lost him.
Yeah.
But no, and there's also
That was like a backdraft.
there's also a double entendre because apparently St. Elmo's Fire is, at least in the speech, is the name given to a certain space phenomena that like ties into life somehow in this monologue and everything.
Ooh.
But it was solid. If I had seen it alongside stuff like Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, I probably would have
Teen Wolf.
I probably would have more of a reverence for it. I still liked it and appreciate what it was. I don't think it's quite as good as the other what you would consider Brat Pack movies, but it was enjoyable.
But written by Joel Schumacher, right?
And directed by Joel Schumacher. R.I.P.
Batman Forever.
Batman and Robin.
Time to Kill.
It's true.
Just naming up stuff.
All movies
Anything
from
else?
Joel Schumacher. I watched The Secret of My Success with Michael J. Fox.
Was it on TBS?
No.
I just feel like he's...
Seriously, you're just scrolling TNT,
I was
TBS and USA, and whatever the fuck is on.
I watched Mr. Deeds.
You know what? I watched Pretty in Pink. It was, did you know that Pretty in Pink is 4 hours long? No, you watched it on USA.
I was in an 80s mood. And again, this was one of the few Michael J. Fox comedies of that era that I hadn't seen before.
Hey, Mom! Mom, you want to watch a Michael J. Fox movie? It's on TNT. No,
not that one.
Not that one. Not that one either. Keep going.
No, that's Michael Keaton.
Okay, this has been Brad doing
His mom.
again.
But yeah, it's this was pretty good. It's a typical 80s like small town kid heads to the city, kind of thing. It does have that like plot though of where like he schemes to get ahead and like gets himself a little in too deep, so he has to keep up these lies and like keep this thing going where he's pretending to be someone else. But it was Michael J. Fox just has this like inherent charm about him, and like he makes it work.
Was this the one where he finds somebody's Filofax, like a book, and he pretends to be them?
Yeah, it's not really the Filofax that does it. He just takes over their office after they're fired.
Gotcha.
And pretends.
No, I think there's another one where it's Jim Belushi and Charles Grodin.
Sure.
And Charles Grodin leaves his Filofax thing in a cab, and Jim Belushi finds it and just pretends to be him.
Oh, okay. That's
That's
interesting.
an actual movie from the late 80s, early 90s.
I'll have to see if that's on TNT next week.
It will be, along with Nothing But Trouble.
But yeah, so those are the movies that I saw aside from The Assignment, which we'll get to in a second. Nate, what's the last movie you saw?
Hey, Nate. Hey, buddy. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw a film called Hot Rod.
Yes.
A film I had not seen, but I've been listening to the Seth Meyers and the Lonely
This is
Island.
crazy to me that you hadn't seen this movie.
Yeah.
If I had known you hadn't seen this movie, I would have signed it to you last year.
Yeah. I watched this film because they talk about this film a lot on
2 episodes.
Yeah, on this podcast. They not only mention it in different episodes, they actually do an episode. Do they do
2
two?
episodes, yeah.
I'm on the first episode right now where they talk about that.
I just finished that one as well.
And it's been a lot of fun. This podcast, if you don't listen to it, even if you're not an SNL fan, it's a lot of fun.
The Lonely Island and Seth Meyers podcast. It's available wherever podcasts
first
are sold.
6 or so episodes, they just talk about how they don't know what they're going to call the podcast yet, and they still don't have a name, and it's just so funny to me.
And so this is a film.
How's your milk, you fucking weirdo?
I'm slurping it down.
You really are over there. Now it just looks cloudy.
It's warm. It's warm.
There's no way that's still cold. That's fucking disgusting.
It is cold.
There's no fucking way.
It is.
It looked, the glass is cloudy because of like the humidity in it.
No, it's cloudy because you had 2% milk, and that's what 2% milk does in a glass.
Sorry, Nate. I got really upset.
So this is a film written by Pam Brady and directed by Akiva Shaver, who is
Pam Brady of South Park fame.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Is that where? So she wrote the script, and after the first season that The Lonely Island was on SNL, they got invited to do this film. And they're young.
And this was a movie that existed before. Like, the Lonely Island didn't write it out of thin air. They updated the script with a new draft. That Pam Brady wrote.
Because we've all heard this episode of The Lonely Island. You can get really in depth on how this happened if you want to listen to that podcast, honestly. But the short story is Pam Brady wrote this. They were given it, and they punched it up.
Yeah.
And then they brought in Bill Hader.
And brought in their own brand.
And
of comedy, too.
Danny McBride.
And brought in Seth Meyers to help rewrite as well.
What did you think of Hot Rod?
This was so much fun.
Yeah, it is.
It was interesting to watch this film after I had already listened to that episode, because you could see the tension in this film for what they wanted it to become. They wanted this to become a certain film. What'd they say?
Hot American Summer.
American Summer. And
Billy Madison.
At this point,
one or the other. Like, that's what they were going
At
for.
this point, comedies were really dominated by Will Ferrell. And so they wanted this to become a Will Ferrell type of film.
Mm-hmm.
The studio did. And so, they're trying to balance a lot of that. And this actually, to me, almost had a little bit of Napoleon Dynamite in it as well. It's hilarious. I loved this film.
I love this movie so much.
Danny McBride's fantastic.
The cast is just perfect.
Ian McShane. Bill Hader's great.
Ian
McShane is just... I loved the...
They said he was the sweet, like the nicest smelling man they've ever met.
How are my boys?
There's also some emotional elements in this as well, where Andy Samberg's character, right? His stepdad, he wants to fight, but you can also tell he really loves his stepdad.
Well, he only wants to fight him to prove that he's a man.
Yeah, he wants his respect.
He wants his respect.
He wants his approval. Right?
I'm gonna beat you, Frank.
And he's willing to do whatever he can.
Hey, Brad, no bit. Do your best Andy Samberg.
What kind of Andy Samberg, though?
Just your best Andy Samberg in Hot Rod, whatever.
Yeah. Where do you get off?
Is he out of breath?
Saying what way?
Saying what way?
I will forget it.
I will forget it.
Hey,
Nate, do you want to try?
No, because I don't do impressions. You know this.
I thought we'd maybe get him in a good mood,
have some fun,
have a little
but
fun once in a
fun,
while.
yeah.
The listeners listening, like, I bet you Nate will get around to doing it.
Just say one of Andy Samberg's famous lines.
I don't know any of it because I did watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I don't.
Smorgasbord.
Yeah,
it's just Swedish Chef.
Andy Samberg doing the Swedish Chef.
Okay, can you do that?
Smorgasbord.
Yeah, he did it.
Good.
We did it. No, you liked it, right? You liked it.
I loved it. You know who else I loved in this is because I don't see him act a ton, but Jorma was fantastic in this.
Oh my God, Jorma's so funny in this movie.
He was fantastic, and I would love to see him in other things.
You should watch Popstar.
Yeah, I've seen Popstar.
Okay.
Thank God, I don't know what I would do.
I know, right?
But other than those two films, I don't know what else he's done.
I mean, he was in a bunch of the digital shorts, but yeah, he hasn't really been in a lot of stuff that wasn't Lonely Island.
But
movies.
he has that nice or that funny kind of unassuming kind of. He's able to play the.
He very much is
a certain type of character that a lot of people can't play.
He's great at playing the guy that's. Oh no, man, you're right. Like that's my fault.
Which is a
type
of comedic role that a lot of people can't.
He has
do.
a great young innocence about him.
Yes, and innocence is a perfect.
They
word
talk
for
in the podcast about the stunt performer that breaks his femur on like one of the first stunts on the dirt bike.
It's the very first stunt in the movie.
Did you remember that scene after hearing the podcast?
Yes.
And does it look not like, oh wow, that's a stunt?
It did. There was nothing about the cut that made me think, "Oh no!" Right?
Right.
But certainly, it was a stunt.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because now I want to go back and watch that again. Now that I know that,
So it's funny because like I always
they
felt,
left it in, like
I
the
always
actual scene.
I always felt like the stunt like hit hard, and I always thought either A, that's a good stunt man, or B, they figured
Something went wrong.
They figured out a way to have like a really good dummy that looked
Yeah.
like a body. Because like some people are right, like the leg does go like a funky direction, and so but it doesn't look like a dummy though, because there's still like some good heft and weight to it. But
And and to clarify, the stuntman on the way into like the ambulance was like, "Dude, was it funny?
yeah,
Did we do it?" Like he was still all on board because he's a consummate professional. So good for that guy.
And I will say this too: for many, many years, I've had a crush on Isla Fisher. Still do.
Listen, is there room out on that branch for me?
If you want.
Because I think that I'm going to go out on that same limb.
hope it's a redwood tree.
Fuck you. I've been trying for the past 3 weeks to lose a little weight, and I was hoping maybe with this shirt on, you'd be like, "Oh, he's down a couple pounds." That kind of shit. Right? It doesn't make me feel good.
Well, here's the thing.
No, shut up. It doesn't make me feel good, right? And then I also look. Okay, I was housing a bunch of gushers. Okay, just shoved them down my gullet.
Housing a bunch of
I get it. Okay, but the redwood comment, it's a branch.
A little much.
It's a little
much. You know,
branch
the
too far.
guy's trying to lose some weight.
Trying to lose some weight.
Here's the thing. Even if you were trying your hardest to lose weight, 3 weeks is not enough to make like
Oh fuck
a
you.
normal tree.
Oh fuck you. Oh fuck you.
Old weight loss guru over here.
Hold on. Let me clarify. It's because redwood trees are strong, and you were overweight.
And you're a fat piece of shit who would break any of their limb.
I just wanted to make sure we
Like,
understood.
I want the general public to know that if you sat with Nate Laux on an oak tree branch, that would fucking break so fucking quickly.
Oh goodness. There are so many lines I love in Hot Rod. Like that movie is endlessly quotable, and there's just so many silly scenes in it.
I kept on waiting for a scene or a part where it lost me. You know,
Right.
And it didn't happen. And I'm a little embarrassed and a little ashamed I didn't see this before. Cause
I know.
Great.
I can't believe it's
It
crazy.
did not. It was not a commercial success at all, as they talk about. It did not do well.
But it's totally found an audience.
This
And
movie-
this is probably why I didn't see it, because it did not do well, and I thought, oh, it's probably dumb.
And
Yeah.
Nate's a front runner.
Well, in 2007, I wouldn't have cared.
Sure.
This movie has one of those specific comedy slapstick sound laughs that always gets me every time, and it's the thunk that Kevin makes when Danny McBride shoves him into the side of the door to the door of the van.
That's a very specific laugh point for you.
It is. I will laugh every single time because it's just the sound that his body makes hitting the side of the van. It's hilarious.
It's that, and like whenever you've told me this privately, whenever Paul Blart farts, those are the two things that get you going no matter what.
Don't get him started on Paul Blart.
I know. It'll turn into the whole Paul Blart thing that we've talked to him about.
Make one reference to Redwood Tree, and I get lumped in with Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Well,
That's
I mean,
my consequence.
Unfortunately, episodes 1 through like 100 aren't available, but it was basically a Paul Blart podcast at that point because of Brad.
It's Paulcast, and you know it.
Paulcast.
I did love this film too, because again, like Napoleon. Again, I don't want to compare it too much to Napoleon Dynamite, but there's that element where this film is not really about a ton. It is about a group of friends where you've got the leader who, played by Andy Samberg, wants to raise funds to help his stepfather
Pay for his father's
pay for
conveniently
his-
priced surgery.
But that's it. I mean, that's what it is. And so the comedy is about an everyday kind of life for these people.
Yep.
And they help you kind of experience their life. They show it well. I love the direction. There's actually some really, as Seth Meyers talks about in the podcast, there's some great cinematography in where he goes into the woods. It's some beautiful shots.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna watch this again. I know I will. It's fantastic.
Did you watch it with Finn?
I did not.
Oh, gotta watch it with
I will,
Finn.
I will.
Yeah.
I saw Nora and Finn at the fair, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah, because Nora's driving.
Yeah, she's driving. I didn't go to the fair at all.
Yeah, she went and took Finn.
You didn't go to the fair at all?
No.
Buddy.
Did you?
Yeah, they got delicious foods.
Yeah, I saw. To bring up the Brad's, pointed fact that I'm
Brad's
fat
drunk.
again.
Yeah,
okay, I
bring
get
up
it.
Brad's drunk.
I'm fucking fat. I get it, Brad. But I went to the fair and I ate fair food. Oh, big
I thought
surprise!
you were trying to lose weight. Over the
I
past 3
am.
weeks.
It's hard. Okay.
That's honestly why I didn't go, because I was afraid I was going to eat too much food.
I went to the demolition derby. We can cut all this if we're running long on time. But with the fair, they do a demolition derby. So there's the Power Wheels where the kids have to hit.
Yeah.
That's not last man standing. That is, if you hit another car, you get a point.
Oh.
And so the kids because obviously there's no way to destroy Power Wheels so that they don't run anymore.
But what if they?
I mean, honestly, kind of think it. So there are all these toddlers wearing helmets and they're just bumping into each other and the crowd's going nuts. And so this little girl won because she just took it so serious. She's running around the outside and hitting and then running away and hitting and running away. And all these other ones are just the pile in the middle and she's tapping them all from the outside. And it's and Abigail King with 17 hits. It's but then they had, and I'm not joking about, I at 330 pounds, 6'2", would have been the smallest competitor in the souped up lawnmower tractor.
Oh my god!
Demolition derby. And
would you do that?
I would. I totally would. These things have welded sides. They're legitimately Toro or John Deere lawn tractors that have been given fucking dually engines, and they wet down the track so that you can't get as much traction, so you can't go as fast. But unfortunately, it was so hot that the water tank, even if they were doing it, it still dried out pretty quickly.
Oh, no.
So for the first, my friends Aaron and Jonah Snyder and Ashley and the boys went, and we were watching this, and these are 400-pound guys, and they're just farmers, and they're poured into these fucking things, and they're only wearing a helmet and cut off sleeves and jeans, and it's the same. It's supposed to be the same thing. Just tap them for a point. But these things fucking go fast when it's dirt. Bam, bam, and we're just watching this shit happen. All of a sudden, one dude T-bones another guy. He tips over, and this barrel of a man spills out of this thing.
Oh my god!
And he just jumps up and upends the mower and jumps back in it. And then the crowd goes fucking nuts. This guy is Hercules.
Do you have tears in your eyes?
I'm he's an American. And then it happened again. Somebody knocked over. And I was talking to Aaron and Joe. They've come to the demolition derby. That's their thing they do with their family. They've come the last 9 years. And they go, it's never happened that somebody's toppled over in the lawnmower. And it happened twice. I'm I'm coming every single year.
That's a bingo.
It was fucking awesome.
Idea, guys. Let's do an idea sesh. What do you think about next year? We put Ben into this, right? You do this.
On board.
We get you a tractor.
We get you a tractor.
A day Days of Thunder style.
Yep.
Right. You're our Tom Cruise.
Describe what you mean by Days of Thunder style. I'm not sure you've seen Days of Thunder.
Well, I mean, just because it's going to be on a race kind of element, it
doesn't sound like it's a race.
No, it's a demolition derby, Nate.
It's a demolition derby, but I just want you to have Tom Cruise hair from Days of Thunder.
Okay, fair enough. I don't really know what that looks like, but okay.
Pretty sure his hair in
just
Days of Thunder is just Tom Cruise's normal
the-
hair
the
in
firm-
1987.
No, it's a little longer. It's
Like
a
the
little
firm
bit-
hair.
No, it's a little longer actually in Days of Thunder.
Is it?
Is
It
it?
is a little longer.
I think you're misremembering.
No, I'll send it to you. I'm pretty sure. It's
But
a little
yes,
longer.
to your point, Nate, I am in. I would do
And
this.
then we do a Go Flicks Yourself logo on your tractor.
Yep, done.
So I just would encourage you guys to pray about it and get back to me.
Okay. I will say one thing I was thinking about is there needs to be, it probably couldn't be Will Ferrell just because of Talladega Nights, but there should be an R-rated comedy about the demolition derby world.
I just can't believe there hasn't been
I'm
any
not joking,
real
like,
movie about
that-
the demolition derby world.
That
That
think about it,
seems
it's
like
so
a
ripe
Danny
for it.
McBride
Yeah.
type of thing.
And I'm
true.
thinking or you just do Talladega Nights 2, and it's just old Ricky Bobby is now washed up and in the demolition derby circuit. I'd watch that.
I'd watch that. All
He
right.
just spray paints Wonder Bread on
Did
the
you
side
watch
of it.
anything else, Nate, besides Hot Rod?
Yeah, I watched a film called Silverado.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get to that in a second.
Did you watch anything else?
Nope.
All right. So I watched a movie called Blues Brothers 2000.
I did watch that too.
Yep, you watched that. And I watched a movie called Silverado.
That's it?
Those are two. They're literally the two films we have for this podcast. The both.
You didn't have any other screen fun?
I mean, I watched the season 1 and season 2 of The Bear to get caught up.
Oh, so you
Let's
watch
talk.
TV
Yeah,
and
let's
enjoy it.
Dish, please do Dish.
I love that show so much.
Yeah.
Cousin. Tell
Cousin.
me about it.
Forks is the best episode, in
very
my
good.
opinion.
Is that the Christmas episode?
No, that's the episode where
That's where
Richie goes to the fancy restaurant to learn.
restaurant and learn.
Oh,
I
is
love that.
Olivia Colman's in that one, and is that the mushroom one?
Yep.
That
It's
scene is
such
just
such a turn, like for that character though, and they do such a good job in that. Fuck, I'm talking about TV.
Ah.
I will say
Richie, that character,
that turn is so perfect, and it's such a slow burn on that turn as well because they let him be an asshole for fucking ever. And honestly, I was getting pretty sick of it, and then that happens, and I'm like, what a cool payoff. And like he comes back and he's like, I wear suits now, and it's like it's a thing, you know. I fucking
and maybe
love
because
it.
maybe because I know a lot of those guys, and there's a part of him that reminds me of my brother Brandon. That I never found him to be an asshole. I found him to be very vulnerable and being afraid.
Sure.
That he doesn't know what he needs to know.
He is so...
Because he didn't go to college. He didn't do any of that crap. And so
thinly veiled with his bombastic personality. I'm a fixer. No, you're not. You're not, actually.
I'm really compassionate towards him as a character for some reason, just because I feel like I know a lot of guys like that.
But no, that show is fantastic.
So well written, so beautiful.
I just finished, the 10th episode of the season 2.
You haven't started season 3 yet?
No, I am actually going to watch the first episode after this podcast tonight.
I've not seen season 3 yet, though. Brad, has
what are you doing?
I've been busy.
I mean, Brad says it's bad.
Just take a break from boning for like at least a day.
But I defended it to somebody because somebody told me this week they're like, yeah, it's not as good as the first 2 seasons, and I'm like. That doesn't mean it still can't be great, though.
Godfather 3.
Yeah, this filet mignon isn't as good as the T-bone. Fuck off.
I am trying to think. Maybe I did watch something else, but no.
Obviously, it wasn't important enough. So we did something.
Wait, did I talked about If?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, okay.
We did something fun this week. We had a suggestion come from a listener, unprompted, but I was happy to get this, and I think I remember where it came from because there was a conversation we had briefly about Lawrence Kasdan because he is a very well-known filmmaker and screenwriter. He had just worked on something that Nate had watched for the first time, and we talked about The Big Chill, and we talked about Raiders of the Lost Ark and the other movies that he's done, and so because of that, AJ Shill75 on Twitter, one of our listeners.
Shout out, AJ.
He replied all of us and said, listener assignment, Silverado, directed by Lawrence Kasdan, #Western, #StellarCast.
Hashtag StellarCast is fucking right.
This was one of those things where I saw the main cast, like I knew Kevin Kline, I knew Danny Glover, I knew Kevin Costner, I knew Scott Glenn, and then I've been watching the opening credits, and I keep seeing Brian Dennehy, Richard Jenkins, Jeff Goldblum, Roseanne Arquette. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It turned into a who's who of young, I guess. Not Denny. He wasn't young at the time, but like
he's always young in my heart.
He looked. He looked. What year was this?
1986.
1985.
85.
So 10 years later, he does Tommy Boy. He looks older in this film than he
That's
did Tommy
true.
Boy.
He does.
I mean, technically, he's only like 46 in this film.
I think it's the beard.
It's the white hair and the beard for
not
sure.
that old, but yeah.
So Silverado is a Western. It is produced and directed by Lawrence Kasdan, and it stars Kevin Kline and Scott Glenn and Danny Glover and Kevin Costner as a quartet of what you would say, I guess, misfit cowboys whose paths end up crossing over and over again as they're each trying to go on their way.
It's like best described as these are the only 4 guys that are like the good guys, and you just see that in this film.
Yeah.
Because there's so many bad guys that are very clearly bad guys.
Yeah.
And each one of them is
a lot of posses.
Nope, don't want to be with you because I'm a good guy. And then nope, don't want to be. And then they end up.
But I got to find my guys.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, it's not the kind of thing too where like they're all of a sudden like best of friends and they're teaming up. Like after Kevin Kline and Scott Glenn cross paths and like Scott Glenn helps Kevin Kline, he's not necessarily immediately gung-ho about doing whatever Scott Glenn is doing. He still has his own thing to go about doing.
Oh yeah, he says the words, well, this is where we shake hands and part.
But of course they all end up crossing paths over and over again, and they do end up continually helping each other when things go wrong and like bad guys show up and whatnot. This is a very classic Western formula.
Yeah. So a lot of the feedback for this, Brad, was this was a Western in 85 that felt like it was a Western in 65.
Yeah, 100%. Because it does not feel like it's a 1985 movie at all. And that goes right down to the score by Bruce Brofton, which was actually Oscar nominated. And this score is awesome. Like, it is a great Western score. It is like going full bore all the way through. Like, and you feel like it's a real classic Western sound to
I
it.
feel like this is the score that City Slickers was based on.
Yes. Yep.
Well, City Slicker score is based on just the sound of classic Westerns.
But I know,
in
but
general.
like this is the classic Western that type of like a little bit more fun score is based on.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It has a little bit more of a lighthearted
Exactly.
side to it.
They take that up a notch.
But what do you guys think about this movie?
So the opening is, I was telling you guys off air, it's incredible. Like it jumps you right into the action, and then they pan through the door, and
They
it
don't.
opens.
They don't wait to start.
There's just gunfire, and then it opens into this gorgeous vista overlooking this canyon. And Brad is telling me, which I unfortunately have not seen The Searchers, but he says it's a recreation of a shot from The Searchers.
Yeah, very famous shot.
So
from
that's
Searchers.
a nice homage. I say ripoff, but you say homage. That's fine. But yeah,
It's cute that you don't have any, not in touch with like cinema history or anything like that.
I mean, I guess I could make movies too. I just take everything from everybody else and just shove it in there.
Sure.
Fuck you, Lawrence Kasdan. No, I'm just joking.
There's a filmmaker who made his entire career on that, and his name is Quentin
Mel Brooks.
Tarantino.
Mel Brooks.
Him too.
Any hoozle. What'd you guys think?
I really like this movie a lot. I wouldn't call myself a Western fan. I don't love Westerns. I'm not going out of my way to like watch all of them. But there are like tropes and traits that I do enjoy in Westerns, and because this tapped in so much into that classic style Western, I really just like got caught up in it. And one of the things I really appreciated actually was that the characters in this movie are not your prototypical gruff cowboys walking around with their Western drawl and everything. Like Kevin Kline and Scott Glenn and Danny Glover.
It was hard for me to see Kevin Kline as like a tough guy.
Yeah, and I was fine because like I don't need him to like be like Wyatt Earp, or Doc Holliday or any of these people. Like they were normal people who lived during the time of the Wild West and had to live as cowboys, but weren't walking around like typical Western cowboys,
With the sunken eyes and the
yeah, spitting tobacco all the time and stuff like that.
However, lots of tobacco spitting in this film.
Well, yeah, of course, it's a cowboy movie.
Oh, thank you.
But no, I really liked that approach. It made it feel a little more fresh. I gave it a little, made it feel, I guess, a little more grounded in a way.
The lack of whorehouses was surprising.
Well, there's one full-on whorehouse in this movie.
Oh, the saloon at the beginning? Is that the whorehouse? Or is it another whorehouse?
Isn't the bar also a whorehouse?
That's what I said, the saloon.
That's not just at the beginning. Like it's like
Not the later one I didn't think was a whorehouse.
no. Linda Hunt is. I think she's fully operating a bar and a whorehouse.
Was Linda Hunt operating in a saloon, like a?
I thought it was just a saloon and a gambling place.
Oh yeah, I just don't assume just because they're serving
Brad,
alcohol that there's.
why did you think there's prostitution? At what point did you see a whore?
They looked like whores,
I tried.
and I don't mean like they looked whorish, but they looked like
they were
prototypical Western whores.
Paid sex for money prostitutes
Right.
in the Old West, which were known as whores.
Exactly.
Would be very clear.
There's a certain wardrobe that women that work at saloons for sex wear, and
okay, hold on. Describe it.
satin, frilly, corsets.
You see a little bit of their chest.
Yeah,
a little bit.
cleaves pushed up.
Cleaves.
Yeah, usually some little booty cheeks hanging out.
No, there's no
I don't.
booty cheeks.
That's
hanging
actually
out.
not at all.
You've never seen booty cheeks?
No,
the
it's a
booty
big
cheeks
frumpy
are-
dress on the
Yeah.
bottom
Oh
part.
yeah, but sometimes the
You get a little bit of their cleave sometimes.
cleave.
and sometimes you get some booty cheeks hanging out of
No.
the frill in the back.
No,
Well, then you're going to the wrong whorehouse.
No,
Not at the whorehouses I've been to.
Yeah, you were getting
you're thinking
shorted.
of the Lady Marmalade music video.
Yes, you
no,
are.
that's burlesque.
Yeah, I think that's actually what you're
I
thinking.
know
No.
that's what you're thinking of.
No,
Yeah.
there's plenty of those outfits.
You're thinking of the musical Rent.
in that's what it is.
525,600
whores.
Yes, fucking did it. Locked and loaded on that one, motherfuckers.
We tapped into the whore song. But no, I really like Silverado. Nate, what did you think?
There was a lot to like about this film, especially the actors. What I didn't love, there's a couple things that if I would critique it at all is, and I think this is a feature of Western movies. Western movies typically, especially if this is truly Lawrence Kasdan playing homage to Western films from the 50s and 60s, dialogue is not the number one thing, right? Especially well-acted dialogue. It's oftentimes slower. It's, giving like tropey lines that become tropey over time. So there's part of this that I I didn't think it was great. But as a Western, especially if you suspend that and say this is not a 1985 film, this is a film that is an homage to the Western genre. I think it was really well done. I also couldn't get over, it was hard for me to see Kevin Kline in this role because I don't see Kevin Kline as an action tough guy.
Oh, apparently you didn't see Wild Wild West.
Neither did anybody else.
Oh, yikes.
But I all that said, I genuinely like this film. I would say it needed to be about 20 minutes shorter.
I do think it's a little bit long as well. I think it drags a bit. And
I'll say this too. Kevin Costner seemed like a different Kevin Costner. This is pretty early in Costner's career.
This is
but
by
he
far
actually was acting.
The best Costner performance.
Seriously, this is by far my favorite Kevin Costner performance I've ever seen because
Are you serious?
yeah,
He's doing something different.
You obviously haven't seen Tin Cup.
I have seen Tin Cup, and he lost the life that he had in this movie when he made Tin Cup, because even in Tin Cup, he's supposed to be like a little bit of like a sharp, smart ass, a former professional golfer, that kind of thing. But he's still like low key, like dry Kevin Costner in that role. Here, he's like a lively kid. He's almost like Billy the Kid.
Climbing the monkey bars in the jail cell, even though he's going to be hanged tomorrow.
He's a rascal in this movie.
He's also got inflection in his voice that he often doesn't have when he acts.
I have never seen a Kevin Costner performance like this, and if he continued to do performances like this for the rest of his career,
he could actually have a career.
I might like him.
He could actually have a career. The guy that directed Dances with Wolves. He could have a career.
Yeah, what he and 2 years later did The Untouchables, then No Way Out, then Bull Durham, then Field of Dreams.
Yeah,
he did okay.
He's done okay.
Hey, tell me what nuances of those performances you really liked from Kevin Costner.
It doesn't matter.
In those
he
movies.
has a career.
I was saying.
I didn't say he didn't have a career. I said I don't think he's a good actor.
No, you're right though. In that, in this film, he showed a range.
Yeah.
That seemed actually, I would say, almost. I think he gave one of the best acting performances in this film. I think he did.
I would agree with that.
He was really good.
Exactly.
No, I liked him in it, and I wish that he continued to be a good actor.
No, I did. I enjoyed this film for the most part because of the performances. Danny Glover was especially poignant.
Danny Glover was
with his father and all that stuff. The side action there. Because I just remember Danny Glover from Predator 2. Which we all do.
His most famous role.
Of course.
Yeah.
Definitely not anything else.
Mm-mm.
No buddy comedies.
Not Gone Fishing.
Oh, are you talking about the classic Joe Pesci film?
Of course I am.
Of course you are.
It's one where they went fishing.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I have a Western game for you. You guys want to play it?
Hey. Yes.
Hey, first, thanks, AJ Shill 75.
Yeah.
For suggesting Silverado. I am very glad I watched it. And I
honestly love when our listeners suggest this movie.
And I actually think that it would have taken me a while to somehow circle around to this movie.
I don't never want to see it.
Yeah, because I don't ever remember hearing anybody coming out and saying, "Oh man, you need to see Silverado." It's never been suggested to me in that way before. And so I wasn't even sure what this movie was when it was suggested. I assumed it was a Western, but I didn't know the premise or anything like that.
It was fun to see all these incredible actors that have built incredible careers early on in their career doing a role that many of them, I mean, obviously Kevin Costner has really done a lot of Western, but also these other roles
now I know that
done.
1985 Brian Dennehy would be the person that would play me in a movie.
Yeah.
Who I want to.
That is true.
He looks like a jacked up version of what I could be, like a burly tough guy.
You get yourself a fur coat and a nice hat. You can.
That's
pull it
what
off.
I'm going as a Halloween for.
Yeah, Brian Dennehy.
Brian Dennehy,
Silverado.
the sheriff in Silverado.
Cobb.
I need a Cobb salad.
Off air before the podcast, you said something that really made me think that you need to re-examine Kevin Kline's career because you were like, it's really hard for me to see Kevin Kline in a not comedy role. And it's like, why haven't you seen the movies that Kevin Kline has done that aren't comedies?
I mean, because I know him from Dave
Sure.
and from Fish Called Wanda.
Yeah.
And I know him from In and Out.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yeah, but that's what I know him from.
I know.
What are the serious dramatic roles he's done?
It's funny you mention that because
Life as a House. I gave that to one of you.
You gave it to me, That's one that's more recent. But you should see The Big Chill, which was also written and directed by Lawrence Kasdan, which is
never seen
a
it.
very big dramatic turn by him and a great ensemble
Well,
cast.
somebody should do their fucking job and assign it to me.
Well, we would, except maybe you wouldn't watch it because you don't always watch your assigned movies.
I watch them every time.
You barely finished Silverado.
I barely did, and I had to fast forward a little bit of it. That's okay.
It's not.
I'm sorry, AJ.
If you don't go back and
I'm going to. I had to fast forward about 15 minutes because we needed
because
to
Ben's
record.
bad at time management
I
and
really
life
am.
skills.
Also, I didn't know it was 2 hours and 12 minutes, AJ. Come on, man.
He doesn't know how to check things ahead of time.
It's a little loud.
Just joking. I'm just Josh with you guys. It was a good movie. I had a fun time.
I did enjoy it. All right, let's.
I had a fun time doing it.
Ben, would you like to do a nice Western theme song for Nate's game?
Please do.
Yeah. Hooey, hooey, hoo. Game time. Hooey, hooey, hoo. Game time. We're playing some games with Ben, Brad, and Nate. Hooey, hooey, hoo. Come along for the ride. Hooey, hooey, hoo.
I want
Take
you
it
to-
away, Nate.
I want you to know I hate so much that hooey hooey hoo is how you chose to define the most famous sound from the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly score.
Well, yeah, because as they look at each other, they're trying to figure out who each other is. That's where it comes from. Hooey, hooey, hoo. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Hooey, hooey, hoo. Who are you?
Like you could have at least gone wah wah wah.
Nope. These are the choices I make, and that's what you pay me for.
Hey, sometimes
I'm definitely not paying you, and I would pay you significantly less for that if I were paying you.
sometimes you get upset that I only add to Brad's songs.
I
but
was
joined
very
you.
thelpful for the help there because
You did do a good job adding a second hooey hooey hoo.
'Cause I liked what he did. I liked the editorial choice he made there. Like he went with it, and I was like, yeah, I like that. I like that.
It was like an old timey radio show version.
Exactly. You're all. By the way, you're all very welcome right now.
So, guys, I have seen 16 Western films. 16, I counted them. And I'm having
Hold on, no,
The
hold
fact
on.
that you've seen
Hold
so
on.
few movies that you
No.
were able to count how many westerns
Exactly.
you've seen is really upsetting.
I gotta stop you. How did you come up with this number?
Because I looked through the greatest Western films and I wrote them down, the ones that I've seen.
Okay.
Oh, so you
And
haven't
I need your help.
necessarily-
I need your
so
help
There's
as
a
my
good chance you've seen more than that.
as my bros. I need your guys' help to
seen-
figure out.
16 good westerns. You might have seen another 30 terrible westerns that didn't make that list.
There's a very good chance I didn't, but
Okay,
who knows?
For example, did you include An American Tale, 5 Goes West in your counting?
I did not.
How about Cowboys and Aliens?
I did not.
I
That's a
see.
good one.
Well,
Yeah,
those
but
two-
that wouldn't be in top 16.
But
yeah.
you've seen it.
But
Though.
those
That's
are
true.
two
That's
westerns
true.
you missed
That's
that you've
true.
seen. So
Okay, so
Yeah,
numbers,
so
numbers
maybe,
wrong.
Maybe there's
We're up to
25.
18.
Maybe there's 30.
We're up to 18.
Yeah.
So what I need.
Because hold on a second. His whole thing was like, no, I highly doubt it. We named 2 right after that. He's like, yep, there's 2.
Did you see Wild Wild West?
I think so.
Did you see Shanghai Noon?
No.
Oh, okay. Surprised by that.
Are you
one.
going to give me that one as a assignment?
It's fun. Right? It's enjoyable.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely not Shanghai Nights.
Actually, I lived in China and it's Shanghai. Shanghai.
Did you really live in China?
I did for 4 months. I lived in China. Shanghai.
How much do you remember of the Mandarin language?
Decent amount.
Can you say hello? My name is Nate.
Ni hao. That's all I know.
Me llamo Nate.
Isn't ni hao just hello?
Yep,
Yeah.
sure is.
Yep.
So I know that. And you know what? How many months have I spent in China,
What's so
Brad?
funny? What's so funny?
None.
0.
What's so funny is this is how education really impacted me. I took 4 hours of Mandarin for 4 months every day.
Oh my god.
And don't remember how
my
to say
gosh.
my name is Nate. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm an idiot. Okay, so
I mean, that's just crazy to me. Like,
but that was 25 years.
Well,
ago.
Nate, let's get back to the 16 westerns
Yeah,
you've seen,
I
quote
love it.
unquote.
So I put these 16 westerns, right? I want you guys to help me.
Okay.
And you're going to debate between the two of you. What is the best western that I've
This
seen?
doesn't sound like a game.
No, but
listen,
I need your
let
help.
it go. Let it go.
I need your
Let it
help.
go. Brad,
I need your help.
Did you write a game?
No, he didn't.
Doesn't sound like he did either.
I need your help, you guys.
I'm
I
here.
want to know. When
I'm here for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to know when somebody asks me
Hooey,
what's
hooey,
the best.
hoo. I'm here for you. Hooey, hooey, hoo. Fuck you.
Brad.
All right, here we go.
All right, so I'm gonna put 2 movies together, and you guys tell me what is the better film out of those. Okay, and we're gonna get down to the best film that Nate has seen, not that you have seen, Western film. All right, here are the 2 first options. First seed, Young Guns. Love Young Guns. Only a 43% on Rotten Tomatoes. Comically underrated. Love this film. Number 16, The Hateful Eight, which is the better film.
Hateful Eight.
Wait, the better film?
Yeah.
Isn't the Hateful Eight the Adam Sandler
That's the
one?
ridiculous 6. Jesus Christ. You fucking moron.
No, Hateful Eight is the better film.
All right, Hateful Eight wins. City Slickers versus The Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Good, bad,
Yeah,
ugly.
ugly.
That's obvious. Tombstone.
Although that seems like an unfair matchup for a first round.
Are you doing 1 versus 16 seeds here?
Well, I put this into a bracket maker and then just random.
Well, that bracket
random.
maker sucks.
No, I just random.
Well, no, it's
so-
just randomized it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't want to go through the
Sure.
the
Effort.
So no, it's just I don't know what I would rank 1
Sure.
to 16. Right? If I knew what I'd rank 1 to 16, I would know what my favorite film
Well, yeah,
is.
there would be no point to having the
Yep.
tournament.
So here we go. Tombstone versus Hell or High Water.
Ooh, fuck. Those are two.
Ah!
Those are two way different films.
I know,
yeah,
but
and they're each good for different reasons.
I mean, I'm going Tombstone just because it's one of my favorite films of all time.
Yeah.
It's constantly in my top 10.
yeah, I think it's got to be Tombstone.
But that does not slight.
So Hell or High Water is awesome.
Is
I know.
fucking-
one of the best
If
modern
you
westerns.
have not
I
seen
know.
Hell or High Water and you don't think that you like westerns, go watch that film.
Yep. All
'Cause
right.
it's a modern day western.
Yeah.
So then Back to the Future 3 versus 310 to Yuma,
The original or the remake?
the remake. I've not seen the original.
310 to Yuma.
Yeah, only because like I like Back to the Future Part 3, but like if we're talking like if it's really a proper western, you know, like it's 310 to Yuma.
Yeah, of course it is.
Open Range versus Butch Cassidy and the Sundance
Butch
Kid.
Cassidy. All
I haven't even
day
seen
long.
Open Range, but it's Butch Cassidy
Yeah.
and Sundance Kid.
Unforgiven or True Grit, most recent.
Unforgiven.
Unforgiven, yeah. That's not to say that True Grit, the remake by the Coen Brothers, isn't also fantastic.
I love
It's
that
fantastic,
film.
but Unforgiven is in the top 5 of westerns I ever made, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree.
No Country for Old Men or The Magnificent Seven, the 2016 version.
No Country
Oh,
for
no,
Old
for
Men by far.
Yeah. No Country for Old Men is better than the original Magnificent Seven.
Those are two very different movies, and that would be very hard to figure out.
Sorry, I said what I said.
All right, The Last of Mohicans versus Silverado.
I haven't seen The Last of the Mohicans since I was a boy, but I remember it being very good.
Yeah,
and just based on that, I'm
same.
going to have to say that. Sorry, AJ.
Same, yeah.
All right, The Last of Mohicans versus No Country for Old Men.
The thing about No Country for Old Men
See?
is it's very much a neo-western, even
Yeah.
more so than Hell or High Water is, and it borders on almost like
Just a drama.
not being a western, like
drama.
more of just a general crime thriller. So I'm torn because of that.
I'm going to say Last of the Mohicans because of that. You've convinced me, Brad, because it's not really a western.
yeah, I'm gonna say Last of the Mohicans as well.
All right, and then this is going to be Unforgiven versus Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Wow, that is a tough matchup.
Fuck you, Nate. That's really hard. Unforgiven. Because now I'm just thinking when I think western, and I'm thinking that
Yeah, this is,
Butch Cassidy
you're
and the Sundance
picking
Kid
my favorite Western.
is a buddy comedy that is set as a western,
I
whereas
need your help
Unforgiven
to
is
pick
a
my favorite
western.
Western. Yep, I need your help to pick my favorite
That's
Western.
where my brain went, Brad.
But see, that's what I love about Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid is because it takes what you love about classic westerns and infuses it with a formula that you wouldn't that was not like popular yet.
Exactly.
And so,
But
whereas
I'm looking at it as a traditional western.
but that's the thing. It's like Unforgiven is great, but it's also a formulaic western, as good as it
Yeah, but
is.
it's the best version of a formulaic western.
I'm going with Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Oof.
So you guys need to work this freaking out. All right, Butch Cassidy or Unforgiven?
Well, this is you need to work it
you need to
out.
work it
Yeah,
out,
you're the
yeah.
tiebreaker. It's your
I'm going Unforgiven.
game, quote unquote.
I'm going Unforgiven then.
You're a
I'll
good
be
man.
the tiebreaker.
And you're smart and handsome.
All right, Tombstone versus The Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
The good, the bad, and the
Yeah,
ugly.
I mean, as much as I want to say Tombstone because I love that film, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is just iconic.
Wait, did I do that one right?
Oh boy.
You guys picked Hateful Eight over Young Guns, Good, Bad, and Ugly over City Slickers. Sorry, Hateful Eight versus Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah, good, bad, and the ugly.
And then Tombstone versus 310 to Unima.
Tombstone.
Tombstone.
All right. Now we're in the quarterfinals. Last of the Mohicans versus Unforgiven.
Unforgiven.
The Good, Bad, and the Ugly versus Tombstone.
The Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
All right. Unforgiven versus The Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
That's really difficult.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, because there is no Unforgiven without the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And
I will say that I think that you are...
I might agree with you.
I don't want to debate the finer points of this, but yes, I technically agree with you on that.
So my favorite Western film
is The
because
Good, the
you
Bad,
guys is The Good, Bad. Would you guys agree that that is your favorite Western film?
I don't know if I would say it's my favorite Western film, but
probably
do you think it's
the most
best?
iconic? And
is it the best Western?
Yeah, I mean, it would be hard to argue that it's not the best Western. It's always going to be towards the top of any list. It's the very least it's in the top 5.
Okay, what is your favorite then?
I'd have to go back and really dig
my
into...
My favorite is Unforgiven. Is my favorite Western of all time.
Really? More than Tombstone?
Tombstone is right there.
Tombstone is my favorite.
Unforgiven is that is such a great film on every level. The villain is wicked, and the backstory of Clint Eastwood's character is perfect, and the cast is just, you can't get any better. You can't recast that film. Morgan Freeman, Gene Hackman, and Clint Eastwood are point perfect in those roles.
There's a ton of Westerns, right? From the actual the Western genre when it was at the height in the 50s and 60s. Most of those films I have not seen.
Yeah.
So our listeners that have seen a lot of those, I would love to have your recommendations for those.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Pale Rider, and I've seen Shane, and I've seen The Outlaw Joyce Wales.
You haven't seen The Searchers?
I have not seen The Searchers, but though they're all good, right? And there are moments, and you're like, oh, that's that iconic thing that everybody knows. There are zeitgeist penetrating moments from all of those films.
The Good, Bad, and the Ugly was a real film,
but that's a film.
Oh yeah, no, that's a hardcore film.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Harder They Fall?
No. Would you put that in the top 10?
I don't know if I'd put it in the top 10, but it is a very good modern Western.
Okay,
very good.
So yeah, let us know in the comments. Let us know what you think of the best Westerns. You know, some of the things.
Not The Hotel.
I'm more of a Ramada Inn guy.
That you loved.
All right. Well, we did it.
We did,
guys.
I do just want to say that it was not really a game.
It wasn't a game, but I thought it was fun.
I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it.
Wasn't a game.
I want to be clear.
It
wasn't a game,
but it was fun.
It was a fun thing.
I just wanted a conversation because
I
our friend
appreciate it.
AJ Shields 75 gave us a game about Westerns. I thought, let's figure out what my favorite Western is. I wasn't sure what it was. You guys told me.
No, I appreciate it.
I appreciate that game very much.
Let's say it's a feature, a featured part of the podcast, or a featured segment.
Sure.
Did you watch The Harder They Fall?
No.
I just asked him that.
I told you.
Are you fucking kidding me? What are you, Nate now?
Did you watch Cowboys vs. Aliens?
I just recently ordered something that I'd like to use maybe once a month for episodes to kind of give us a theme for our assignments.
Hey, by the way, we didn't do trailers.
I know, we're not done with the podcast yet.
Well, the game normally comes at the end.
But it was a part of the conversation.
And as we just established, it was not a game.
I'm just saying.
It was a segment.
I'm just saying.
It was a segment.
The listener right now thought we were going to end the show.
It was a segment that tied into our assignment from a listener.
The listener thought that we
give
were
a little bit of flourish to the
finally
episode.
fucking done. They're like, oh, we get to be
allow me to
break
tell
things up a little bit sometimes on this podcast,
and allow me to tell the listener, you'll know when we're ending the fucking show.
Whoa, so aggressive to the listener.
But no, I have a way to give us a theme at least once a month, which I think could be fun and will help create a more unifying conversation for certain assignments.
So like July should be hot movies.
No. I mean, sometimes we do that just by default. October we'll do Halloween movies and we'll scare the hell out of Nate.
August could be hot movies.
September we'll do labor movies.
Yeah, October could be hot movies.
Just stop.
November could be hot movies.
Anyway, now's the time
trying to have fun
on the podcast where we talk about trailers.
Just trying to have fun over here.
It's trailer time.
It's trailer time with Ben and Brad. Trailer time, and Nate's here too. Trailer time with Ben and Brad. Nate is the great.
He really forgot me in that. He added me late.
I added Nate late. He is great. We're gonna watch Trailer Time with Nate.
he did such
Been on this freaking podcast for
a quote-unquote
freaking years.
good job with the game song. that I'm gonna let him have that one.
No, I was gonna get it right. If you're gonna do it, you do it right, because that was not at all what I did, Nate.
It was a little too close to the actual thing.
You did wee 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 wee. What is that?
Little piggies.
It was
I
woo
did,
woo.
yeah. Woo hooey 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 hoo.
Why not wooey wooey wooey?
Yeah, that's
That's a tongue twister.
So anyway, we watched trailers.
We did.
We watched two
big trailers.
Two big boys.
Two big boys with big trailers coming soon. The first trailer is one that came out just after we recorded last week, so this one seems a little bit late, but we're going to talk about it anyway, because who gives a fuck about timing? And that's the first trailer for Gladiator II. This is directed by Ridley Scott, who directed the original Gladiator. Russell Crowe is not back because his character died at the end of the first movie.
He did.
But this movie follows a very similar trajectory and a story that will be very familiar to those who watched the original Gladiator, because it's basically the same story again. However,
but here's the thing. It looks good.
Yeah, no, I'm not upset by it. Like I actually kind of miss the days when sequels were a little more simple and they did just offer a very slight spin on the same formula.
Die Hard 2, Die Harder.
There you go. And so, yeah, I think...
What is this, Die Hard in an airport? Yes. Yes, it is. Shut the fuck up. Get your fucking...
Let me enjoy my film.
Popcorn, you piece of shit, and watch John McClane save the day. What's wrong with you?
There you go.
Hey, Brad, what's your favorite Hinder song?
I'm not even sure I know a Hinder song.
Is it Lips of an Angel?
Sing it for me.
Which is the worst. It's like...
Lips of an angel, tear my heart to pieces. I didn't hear your voice. This game.
Good. You're an angel.
By the way, isn't that a song about like the girl I'm with? Is it great? But I missed the girl I was with.
Lips of an Angel is literally my girl's in the next room.
I know that song.
I wish she was, and sometimes I wish she was you.
I know, it's like
we never ended up moving on. I really need to hear your voice. Say my name. It sounds so real.
Ben, how often did you crank this song in your dorm room while wearing an Affliction t-shirt? And thinking about the girl that you wish you had.
How dare you? I had money. It was Ed Hardy, and you fucking know it.
Wait. Did you ever have an Ed Hardy shirt?
No. Oh, yes. But no. No, but for the right reasons.
Wait, what's the right reason?
There's only one right reason.
No, there is
because
not.
my going away party to leave San Diego was a Jersey Shore themed going away party. So I bought one off Craigslist because that's back then.
That's a likely
2010.
story.
No, I bought it and it's Ed Hardy, and I went to the guy's house and he was like, yeah, no, man, it's like barely worn, and he was like trying to amp me up about the fact that like we're bros. And I was like, I literally said, oh man, I'm just buying it for a costume party. He was so crestfallen when I said that. I still gave him the
like
15.
Was it really a guy that probably wore the
Oh,
shirt?
100%. He had a whole collection. He actually answered the door in a tap-out shirt. That's how I knew.
Oh, no.
So I took his glittery Ed Hardy shirt and I wore it to my going away party and then threw it away.
I bet you that shirt's worth at least $10 today.
Oh, I honestly, I could probably put that online nowadays and get my money back for it.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, it's so stupid.
Yeah, so cool. Hinder.
I don't know why that came to my head.
Weirdo.
That is so weird. But yeah, no, Gladiator 2, Pedro Pascal, Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a banging cast here.
Yeah, you got Joseph Quinn, who was just in A Quiet Place Day One. He's playing one of the highfalutin, whimsical, Roman higher ups.
Ridley Scott is 80.
He's old.
I mean, but it still looks really
Ridley
like
Scott
well done.
Is gonna be 87 this year.
No.
Yeah, there you go.
So he's not really directing, right? Like he's there, but like people are doing it around him. Or
go
what?
listen to Ridley Scott talk. He's still got like a fucking fire burning in his.
He's still
Okay.
going. He's
Wow.
still going.
Yeah.
That's good for him, honestly.
No, Ridley Scott is still a bad motherfucker. Like
That's really cool to hear.
No bullshit. Like he's got his wits about him.
Do your best, Ridley Scott. Go.
I'm not even sure I know what Ridley Scott sounds like. I know.
Well, then, you said you listened to him.
Yeah, you said you just said if you listen to him.
So that means you've listened to him.
Reading his quotes.
Oh well,
wow.
What do you know about reading?
When you read a quote from a person, you can just really hear the fire in his belly.
No, I mean honestly, if you go read Ridley Scott's quotes, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Like, we're gonna get this fucking piece of shit made, and if the studio tries to get in my way, they can go fuck themselves.
No, seriously, that is something Ridley Scott would have said, and that's exactly what I mean when I say you can tell. Yeah,
that's great.
He does not mince words. He does not fuck around when he talks.
I mean, at 87, you don't have time for that.
But here's the thing: is Ridley Scott, according to IMDb, has 6 projects, including Gladiator II, that are in the works.
Oh, he has always had a bunch of movies in development.
An untitled Bee Gees biopic. He's got Road to Freedom, which is a TV miniseries. Queen and Country, which is a film. Sinking Spring, which is a TV series. Wraiths of the Broken Land, which is in pre-production. He's the director of that film. Just freaking still working.
I wonder how that works for like insurance.
What do you mean? Because of how old he is?
So like, you don't want your director to die halfway through the film, right?
Right.
So if you're in a production like that, you would have
if they're a bad director,
you would need to take your, the studio takes a large insurance policy out against the director in that, probably for that.
So I've run an article entitled from The Independent, "Go Fuck Yourself."
Did Trent Krim write it?
Go fuck yourself. The funniest and most shocking quotes.
I got
from...
that reference.
Shut up, Nate. I'm trying to read a headline.
That was good, though.
Yeah, we all got
Nate,
your
wanna
fucking
touch
jokes.
fingers? You wanna touch
Good
fingers real quick?
reference. Way to go, buddy.
Touch fingers real quick.
They're touching the tips of their penises. They're touching the tips of their penises. Yeah. Squish. The article is titled "Go Fuck Yourself: The Funniest and Most Shocking Quotes from Ridley Scott's Explosive Press Tour." This is from December
1994.
December of 2021. Right off the bat, here's something he said when he was speaking to Deadline when someone brought up superhero movies. Ridley Scott said, "The best films are driven by characters, and we'll come to superheroes after this if you want, because I'll crush it. I'll fucking crush it. They're fucking boring as shit."
That's amazing.
But not true.
I mean, it just depends on what you know.
There's some good superheroes.
Yeah, no, yeah. Endgame was definitely boring as shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Roland Emmerich, what are you doing?
Who's Roland Emmerich?
Another director.
Why is he boring?
He's kind of famous.
No, I knew Roland Emmerich. I'm just kidding. So someone asked Ridley Scott about the Gucci family not being necessarily happy with how they're portrayed in the movie, and here's what Ridley Scott said. He said, "And yet, frankly, how could they be better represented than Al Pacino? Excuse me, you probably have the best actors in the world. You should be so fucking lucky."
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, this guy is awesome.
Okay, he is now my favorite director. Like, I love this.
Yeah, Ridley Scott rules.
Ridley Scott says, "Go fuck yourself," and I was doing a bit, and that actually is the way he talks.
100%.
And I am so happy right now.
So yeah, Ridley Scott is directing Gladiator 2. I'm excited for it. I think it looks good. It follows Lucius, who was the young boy who was the nephew of Joaquin Phoenix's Emperor character in the first movie, and somehow he ended up falling out of favor with the higher ups, and now he's becoming a gladiator like Maximus.
He's been living in the wilderness, according to Wikipedia, for 15 years.
Yeah. So it looks
Maximus Decimus Aurelius.
Meridius.
It
looks good. I'm excited to see it. Great cast. Ridley Scott, bangers all the time. So
love it.
Would Nate, are you on board?
Oh, you're on board.
Oh, I'm so on board for this.
Yeah, it's crazy. This is Netflix only.
That's not true. It's going to the theaters.
I gotcha.
It has a $250 million budget, so they're expecting to make
Wish they
some
hadn't
bank.
spent as much, because they need to stop spending so much money on movies. But
still, to do a gladiator-esque Roman
You
epic
still need
with
$250 million.
Denzel in it. I mean,
no, for sure.
This looks like at least the production value.
It'll
is
pique
where it's
interest
at.
for sure. I hope it turns out.
What else do we watch, Brad?
We also watched the trailer. Speaking of superheroes, we watched the trailer for Captain America: Brave New World,
Which does not look boring as shit.
Does not look boring as shit. Also, does not look great though either.
The trailer
one of the
itself
first
is well
trailers
done.
that
The trailer-
I saw for Marvel that I thought I think I'd see
The trailer is cut well. I will say I do like the style of like the flashing bumpers with the beats.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's
It looks
some,
like an action film. Like
yeah, no, it's definitely trying to tap into that Winter Soldier vibe. Political action thriller kind of thing.
It needs to.
Yes.
What we've been talking about this for a while, and the decline of Marvel, and there's the saturation effect, all that stuff. But what Marvel probably needs to do is, Nate, you just said it, have an action movie.
Yeah.
These stories are so intertwined. You're introducing so many characters.
Yep.
It's like just show me the money here. Like get me.
you're creating films just for the next film.
Exactly.
Like, and
let's
I
just
need
do the thing.
I need a good film.
Exactly.
I just need a good.
Show me the Carfax.
Show me the Carfax.
So here's where I'm concerned about this movie, and this is more behind the scenes minutia than anything, but this is stuff that is publicly out there. This movie had to do very extensive reshoots. And when I say extensive reshoots, I mean over a month's worth of reshoots. And in Hollywood, for a blockbuster movie, that is a lot of fucking reshoots.
And that's not
the reason, because
it was apparently bad. And here's how a way to tell you how bad it was.
How bad was it?
So you'll notice that Giancarlo Esposito is in this movie.
He wasn't.
That character was not in the original movie.
Oh my god!
He was cast for the reshoots.
The reshoots only.
Yeah,
and he's like the main bad in this trailer.
Well, at least
in this trailer.
yeah, they make him out to seem like he's probably the main villain. But
Jesus,
yeah, that's how rough it is.
So what is the problem? What is Marvel doing?
I honestly think that
no, I'm serious.
No, it's a good question.
Why did they do so well in Phase 4 and Phase 3?
I think a big part of it is they got overwhelmed because Disney Plus wanted so much from them on TV, and they lost focus on the stuff that made them great before. And I think they rested too much on their laurels, thinking that people would come along with whatever they had, and they just don't have the same focus or ambition that was the driving force that made the Infinity Saga work so well. They don't have anything that works as a solid core to keep anybody engaged yet. And so I think one of the other reason that I'm concerned with Captain America: Brave New World is that I don't think that we've been given enough about Sam Wilson as a character to really be invested in the struggle for him becoming Captain America. And that's a big part.
That's my fear is I don't know if Anthony Mackie can carry a full film.
Yeah, and that's a big part of that character in the comics is like he really has to struggle to be Captain America because he doesn't have superpowers. He's not Steve Rogers. And they do have that line in the trailer, and it works pretty well. But, like, for me, I'm just not invested enough in Sam Wilson's character, even after Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Which I didn't dislike.
I didn't dislike it either, but, like, there still wasn't enough there for me to grasp onto him and be like, oh, I can't fucking wait to see Sam Wilson as Captain America now. And so you know, you have stuff like Harrison Ford is great. Thinking about Harrison Ford playing Red Hulk, sure. Like, I'm fucking on board for that. But, like, there's just there's
because William Hurt did play that role, but he died.
Yes, he is playing. In case you didn't realize,
he shaved the mustache.
He's playing General Thaddeus
Which
Thunderbolt
I thought
Ross.
was kind of a little cheesy to include that in the
a
trailer.
little weird. Like, I mean, you got to show him.
You have to address it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you address it in the film, not in the trailer.
Well, William Hurt died, so
exactly. Well, it hurts that I'm here, but
but yeah. So I'm curious about this. Of course, I will see it. But the reshoots and the state of Marvel in general have me concerned with whether or not it'll work.
I'm
Who's
looking,
directing?
This is Julius Ona, which again they're giving the writing and the directing to a lot of people that have no experience, pretty much, right?
Yeah, and that's another bigger problem, I think, is like sometimes...
Kudos to them for giving people the chance, but these are independent film directors that they're giving $200 million to write a film.
So let's just call it what it is. They're giving this opportunity to people like this because Marvel wants to be the director. They want.
That's 100% true.
They don't want another multiverse of madness. They don't want these people to take these movies and make them horrors or
they need directors that
comedies,
they can easily control.
Taika Waititi's, and they don't want that. They really don't.
Yeah, but
which is shitty because those movies,
those are films that did well though.
That don't always work.
Right.
It's more often it works than not because at least there's a fucking style to it.
Yeah. But at the same time, you know, I mean, Taika's that ended up blowing up in their face. You know, Thor: Love and Thunder is not that great.
I mean, I still really liked it though.
I don't hate it, but after seeing it again, you know, you can really start to see the cracks in it.
Sure.
And
it's just you've got the Russo brothers, right?
It's a better movie than
Winter
Black
Soldier
Widow
and Civil War.
Sure.
And it's hard to do as well as the Russo brothers.
It's a better movie than the Eternals.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Fuck off.
No,
I'm
serious. No,
I actually don't hate the Eternals.
Yeah, no, I think that there's a lot of...
The Eternals is boring.
I don't disagree that it is not your typical superhero action fare, but it doesn't mean that I don't think that there's some really good filmmaking going on there and some really nuanced performances.
I felt like it was almost a good film. It just did not quite make it.
It didn't quite stick the landing.
But there was something that Chloe Zhao was doing that I thought was different.
The Eternals suffered the problem of we need a whole movie to introduce these characters before we can actually make our movie.
That was the problem.
And too many characters in general. Yeah, I don't disagree that it has problems, but
it's a bad movie.
But I think Thor: Love and Thunder
is a good movie.
But it's more disappointing because it comes on the tails of Thor Ragnarok, and it just
Which
squanders so much.
Thor Ragnarok for me is a top 5 Marvel
absolutely.
film, maybe a top
three.
Yeah, I love Thor Ragnarok, and so
think
but yeah,
it's
so
one of the
Thor Love and Thunder just like squanders so much. You know,
What is it? Infinity War is number 1 for you?
no Endgame.
Endgame, is it?
Yeah, Endgame. Though I will say I love Winter Soldier a ton.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier's badass.
But those are
For me, Iron Man 2.
Yuck.
Is
Who
it
doesn't
really?
love fucking Whiplash?
I actually
I want my bird.
I like
You want Bird, okay? That's my Sam Rockwell. You want Bird, I get it.
I took your stuff.
That's actually not a bad
That's
Sam
a good-
Rockwell. I took your stuff.
But I do think though a lot of the directing
Where
and the
is
writing has not been solid in the last.
No, Nate, your point is very salient here. Giving first-time, big-time directors responsibilities to independent filmmakers is maybe not the wisest choice if you're trying to get something really well made at a high level because they just don't have the experience.
And I mean, it has worked out. So, like, there's plenty of filmmakers who like have stepped up to the plate and done a very good job. But I just don't think it's something that they should be like relying on all the time. And you're right,
Fair,
it
the
is.
Russo brothers hadn't directed a ton before they got this film.
No, I mean nothing as
Or
big.
before
Yeah, nothing
Captain
as
America,
big
the Winter
as
Soldier.
as Winter Soldier. That's for
But
sure.
then the Russo brothers kept at it.
Sure.
You know, they got a successful. So what is name another independent director that then did a good one, like in the MCU, whoever that might be. Why doesn't Marvel say, okay, we've worked together before, this works, we want you to direct another one, like the Russo brothers? Because
I mean, well, they did do that with the Russo brothers.
I know, but outside of the Russo brothers,
James Gunn. James Gunn did not have a really big career before Guardians of the Galaxy.
Sure.
They took a real big chance on him, and that turned into a huge successful franchise for them.
till the third one, but yeah.
I mean, I don't disagree. I don't like the third one.
So if I look at the latest Marvel films, Ant-Man and the Wasp, because this is going to be in your wheelhouse a little bit, Brad, because you know these directors a little bit more. Peyton Reed, had she done?
Peyton Reed is a very good director, and I honestly don't know why they're not tapping into his skills more, because he's very good as well. Actually, another one that I think that they need to give a broader sandbox to outside of Spider-Man is John Watts. John Watts is a fantastic director, and I would have loved to have seen him tackle Fantastic Four or an upcoming Avengers movie or something like that.
I know
And-
people didn't love this film, but I thought Nia DaCosta did well with the Marvels. I thought the Nia DaCosta created a world there that I liked.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Marvels. I'm not sure it's like top tier enough for me to be like, oh man, I want to see Nia DaCosta
Who's
do so much more.
Jake Schreier directing the Thunderbolts?
Well, that's remains to be seen whether Thunderbolts is going to be worth a damn. So
Okay, if they're ever going to make it or not.
no, they've already shot it. It comes out next year.
But
That
is that no? What
hey,
I'm saying is
Batgirl,
that
doesn't matter.
Is that a director that is notable?
I'm honestly not sure what else he directed. I want to say that he was in TV before this. I don't know what his feature film credits
So another
are.
independent kind of director, though.
I don't know if it's independent necessarily, because like if you want to talk about that, like the Russos did tons of big TV shows before they came on. Like they had Community, they had
$200
Arrested
million
Development.
budget is different than Arrested Development, though.
But if you look at what the Russos did on Community, especially the paintball episodes, you can tell that they had an eye for how to direct action.
I'm just saying, like when you're the head of a large company, that's $200 million or $150 million.
Let me put it in perspective for you. Before James Cameron did The Terminator, he directed Piranha 3D.
I get it, and some directors,
Or Piranha 2.
Piranha
maybe.
2, Brad.
That's
I was
what it
going
is.
to correct you.
Yeah,
So
thank
and
you.
some directors can do that, right? Because they're good directors.
Yeah.
But
Piranha 3 Double D, Brad.
my thing is, I don't
It's
know
true,
if
actually.
Marvel
That's the
can
name
keep
of the
on
film
risking with these
The later
unnamed
one.
directors.
There was a Piranha 3D before Piranha 3 Double D.
Piranha 2,
Piranha 3D.
Piranha 3D.
Piranha 3 Double D.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jake Schreier
Thank
has
you.
directed Robot and Frank,
Oh, that's a fun movie.
Yeah, I like
that.
Robot
That
Frank.
is an indie movie as well.
and then Paper Towns.
I like Paper Towns.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Those are the other two films. And then
I
a lot
like
of
towns
TV.
made of other things than paper.
Like what? Rock?
Wood, rock,
Scissors?
stone, cement,
Good.
brick.
Yep.
Mud,
Glass?
I'm hopeful for this one, guys.
sand, and fog.
We'll see.
I'm hopeful.
It took me a while to get there because I couldn't remember the fucking name of that movie. Hey, this has been Go Flix Yourself. Brad, you were here. Nate, you were here. Did we have fun? Did we solve the world's problems?
I would say that we at least got one out of the way.
What big problem of the world did we solve today?
Well,
my favorite Western.
the fact that you didn't understand Ridley Scott and now you do.
You know what? That was a big problem that I'm glad is solved. And also, your favorite Western is now?
City Slickers.
Oh my God!
Two.
It failed. We failed.
The game did not work.
Fuck, we failed.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, have you seen City Slickers 2?
The Legend of Curly's Gold?
I've seen every City Slickers.
Okay, so that's the 19 on your list.
Hey, all you had to do was say yes.
Everyone.
Because there's only two
There's
City
only
Slickers
two of
movies.
I live in the City Slickers universe. I love it.
It's true.
City Slickers multiverse.
Where Jake Gyllenhaal is now a 50-year-old man.
Could you imagine Jake Gyllenhaal taking over?
Like
by the way,
reprise? Yes, I
yeah.
could. It'd be amazing.
Actually, yeah. Redo that.
with Billy Crystal as like Grandpa who wants to do one more.
Billy Crystal and Jake Gyllenhaal going on a treasure hunt.
Who would you play Curly? Like who would be?
He's dead.
Good... I know, but who?
No, but it'd be like a young Curly's like grandson who's still like tough as nails and it's taken over.
Yeah, who is that role, though?
cattle drive. I mean, it's
Josh Brolin.
Liam Neeson, who's now aged into it.
Clint Eastwood could probably play that.
Oh, he's too old.
No,
now.
he actually is older than Curly.
Yeah,
Jack Palance was freaking old.
He
though.
was.
he was. That's why he's dead.
Tough guy these days.
Yeah, that's
There'd be a
old, though,
little-
like-
oldish, right? Whew. Yeah, I think Josh Brolin is a great choice for that.
He's too young.
He's older than you think.
Josh Brolin's not even 60, is he?
So you're talking about you would need to have somebody be like,
Oh, TommyLee Jones.
That's who I would.
Okay, there you
that's a
go. Yeah, there
great
you go.
one.
oh, Tommy Lee Jones. Did you just see him in public or something?
There he is.
Oh, Tommy Lee Jones.
I walked up to him and he's like, I cannot sanction your buffoonery.
Hey Ben, do this math for me.
Yep.
City Slickers came out in 1991.
Yep.
Jack Palance was born in 1919. How old was he?
Jesus Christ. He was 72?
Yeah. So we need a 72.
That's not as old as I thought. I mean, Ridley Scott's 87.
Oh, Liam Neeson's pushing it. He's probably in his mid-60s.
What about Arnold?
Arnold would be
That'd be
awesome.
so
That'd be
weird.
so fucking great.
What are you doing? Where's my gold?
It
got weird. It got weird.
Whoa.
Don't worry about it.
What the fuck was that?
I realized I never heard Schwarzenegger say gold before, and I just went with the direction.
This is a free
was
podcast.
that Schwarzenegger doing Borat?
Hello, it's me, Borat.
That's exactly. I want gold. King of the castle, king of the castle.
So you don't think Clint Eastwood could do it?
My wife.
Now I want to see a shot-for-shot remake of Borat with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Just get that guy on TikTok to do it.
sister, number one prostitute in all of Kazakhstan.
I'd like to see Nick Nolte come back and do that role.
Holy shit.
Oh God, Nick Nolte as Curly would be really fun.
Yeah. Yes, it would be. Nick Nolte as the dad from the wrestler or the warrior. Like that age Nick Nolte right there would be perfect for it.
Whenever I think of Nick Nolte, I always think of
damn it,
Pat Oswalt stand-up. It's so good.
Well, guys, we've taken up too much of your time, listener. Lovely listener. We love you so much. Thank you for everything. Are we right? Is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly Nate's favorite Western, or did we get that wrong?
Do I need to find another favorite?
Yeah. We love you. It's been fun. Brad, you have any last minute things to say? Bye, everybody. Bye.
Nah, cheating, eh?